Hello, everyone. Let's see. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Say hi in the chat and let's get the ball rolling. Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is Anna Gandrabura, and today I'm very excited to welcome you for probably one of the very first webinars that I'm doing on power skills. So let's do the quality control check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me all right? Can you see me all right? And are you ready to dive into learning more about power skills? Let me know. All right, I see that it's all okay. Okay, awesome, great. Alrighty, so without any further ado, let's get started. And like I said, today we're going to speak about power skills that you need to build a successful career in tech. This is amazing. And a few words about me for those of you who are new here and this is the first time watching the webinar. My name is Anna Gandrabura. I'm an edtech entrepreneur with 15 plus years of experience. I am the founder of a very unique language and workforce development training center, I would say, English for IT. I'm also a social media influencer. I create edutainment videos. They are educational, but at the same time, they are entertaining. I'm also a leadership coach, community builder, and motivational speaker. Hopefully, I will be able to motivate you to start working on your career and your career skills. I am originally from Odessa, which is in Ukraine. I am now based, I live in Miami. So this is about me, if you didn't know me. And if you want to connect with me and want to learn more about my life and my lifestyle, feel free to connect with me on Instagram. It's English_. Thank you. Now, the agenda for today's webinar is the following. Okay, so today we're going to speak about power skills versus soft skills versus people skills. What's the difference? By the way, do you know the difference? Well, you will find out the difference in a little bit. We're going to talk about the 6 most important power skills for a successful career. I'm very excited to share with you these 6 skills because it's going to be a game changer once you know it. I'm going to speak about why power skills are more important than hard skills for your career. Also, of course, the topic of AI is everywhere. Recently I actually shared on my social media regarding AI prompting being the new power skills of the future. So I will talk about that as well. And of course, I will share with you how you can actually practice these power skills. And one more thing, let me remove myself from here. You should expect from today's workshop, you should expect hands-on practice, yeah? And also we will talk about the culture of communication. We'll talk about effective cross-cultural communication today. So a lot of things. I'm very excited to share this information with you. And let's get started. Like I said, you should expect this webinar to be a little bit over 1 hour. I know everyone's busy. I know we all value time, but I hopefully you can find hour and 15 minutes about that. So let's dive into it. Okay, so first of all, starting with the word power skills, right? I don't know if you've ever heard the term power skills, but it's relatively new because some people are still talking about it as soft skills. Other people say it's people skills, and and then there's power skills. So what is the difference between soft skills, power skills, and people skills? Well, before I dive into that, I would like to identify the notion of power skills versus hard skills here, right? And the importance of it. And here's what Harvard Business Review is sharing with us. We all know the impact of AI and new disruptive technology, and it's only growing, right? So people, professionals, candidates that actually can perform tasks that machines cannot do are more valuable, right? So we're talking about skills that only people can perform. I don't think machines can do these skills well, maybe not just yet. So that's why it's so important to highlight those power skills, and it's so important to understand the difference, right? So looking at this picture, is there actually, what do you think, is there a difference between soft skills, power skills, people skills? Well, I tried. I don't know about my skills, illustrator skills here, but I tried to show you that it's pretty much the same thing, right? So here's the thing, that you can technically hear people say soft skills, right? And when they say soft skills, it's a very traditional name, it's a very traditional name. And when you say soft skills, you're talking about abilities that are not job specific, that are not hard skills, right? So for example, if you're a software engineer, your hard skill is coding, right? But like good communication skills, flexibility, being a leader, a teamwork, being a team player, and so on and so forth. These are soft skills, right? So we have hard skills on the one hand and soft skills on the other hand. And a lot of times people are mistaken, and they think that hard skills is what they need only, right? So soft skills, because of the name, I think, right? You like, okay, hard is like more important. So like soft, it's something that is not necessary. So I think maybe because of this, people started using the term power skills, because and this is like the new term of soft skills, right? And this is because power skills are in modern world considered increasingly important, right? And especially in the tech world here. So I think because people are trying to highlight the importance of soft skills, they came up with this new terminology, which is power skills, right? But then again, I don't want you to get confused. Soft skills and power skills are the same. Also, you can hear the term people skills, and I use this term all the time. And another term that I use, I say social skills, right? Again, these are all like soft skills. These are all power skills that we need to acquire in order to get better at what we do in work and in life as well, right? So people, when you hear the term people skills here, we refer to interpersonal skills. And what are these interpersonal skills? Of course, any skill that we need in order to collaborate, in order to communicate with each other, in order to work with each other, right? So these three terms are pretty much the same. So feel free to use them interchangeably. I personally use the term power skills because it highlights the importance of these skills in our modern world. What about you? What have you ever heard the term power skills, soft skills, people skills? Which term do you like more? Feel free to share your thoughts with me. Like I said, I want you to be engaged, because this webinar it's a workshop style. So I will also, in this webinar, I will give you tasks so that you can practice power skills as we go here. So be prepared to be a little bit active and practice on the spot here. All right, so let's talk about the 6 most important power skills for your career, right? Again, there are many power skills that we can name. However, if you want to, I don't know, to build a solid foundation of skills that will help you develop in your tech career, this is what you need to focus on. This is what you need to focus on here. So, good communication, coachability, feedback, emotional intelligence, cultural affinity, leadership, and teamwork. Now, these are the skills that you want to focus on if you want to build a solid foundation and if you want to stand out from the crowd, right? Because there are so many professionals that are applying for the same job as you are applying, but you want to be different. So I highly recommend that you practice this particular skills. But like I said, in the modern world, we also have to take into account what's the where the technology is, right? So AI prompting skill is another power skill that you need to focus on. I will talk about this in a minute. I found this interesting statistic that I wanted to share with you, right? So here on this graph, you can see the level. Well, you can see two lines, right? Social skills, that's what I said earlier. Social skills is the same as soft skills, right? And math skills, right? So technical skills. And you can see that social skills and technical skills, they go hand in hand, right? So we see that people with the high level of technical skills and high level of social skills and high level of power skills, they earn more money. But people with a lower level of technical skills and lower level of social skills, also known as power skills, they tend to get lower wages, right? So this is it has been like this since what? Since 1980s, and it goes. The trend continues even today. That is why, like I said, if you still believe that for your tech career, you only need to work on your technical skills, this is a mistake. This is a wrong thinking here. Your hard skills, your technical skills, regardless whether you're a software engineer, project manager, a human resource manager, doesn't matter. Your hard skills should go hand in hand with your soft skills, with your power skills. And like I said, in the modern world, we cannot forget about the fact that AI now is everywhere, yeah? And your ability to use AI in your daily, tasks, when doing daily tasks, and especially your ability to use AI prompting is the new power skill of the future. So that is why today I will also talk a little bit about that. But just so you know, right, to these 6 core skills that I have named, you have to add a pinch of AI and see like how you can leverage your AI prompting skills in all the categories of other power skills that we are talking about today. All right, so my plan is to go over all these 6 power skills and show you how they work in the real world. Are you ready for it? Yeah. So we will start with the actually with the good communication, right? So good communication is the power skill. I would say this is the primary power skill for everyone. And when I say good communication, you're probably wondering, what does she mean? Does she mean I should be a public speaker? I should be this and that? Well, actually, yeah, it can be like many things. But most importantly, since we're talking about good communication in the workplace, think about how you interact with your colleagues or your clients in the workplace, yeah? And this is where you need to improve or work on your communication skills. And what I mean here is this. So technically, you're developing your communication skills. You have to make sure you communicate concisely, and you have to make sure you know how to communicate in different channels, right? So for example, do you use Slack? Do you use emails? Do you use video calls? Do you use in-person meetings? Do you use demo meetings? Do you go to networking events? Do you handle one-on-one meetings with your colleagues? So all of these things you have to actually consider what are the best ways to communicate in order to be an effective communicator and to make sure people understand you. And here I would like to give you the first practical example and the first activity that you can do. By the way, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I will, after each blog, I will look through the chat and I will actually try to answer your questions. But also I'll be answering your questions at the end of the webinar. And if you have a question that I didn't answer or you have questions later, feel free to reach out to me directly. By the way, if to do that, you can join my community on Telegram. So if you have Telegram, just join the community and you can chat there with me directly and ask your questions. Now let's get down to activities. So one of the effective communication or techniques that you need to acquire is being able to introduce yourself, right? And this is called being able to pitch yourself, right? To deliver an elevator pitch. So you need this pretty much for any occasion when you meet someone for the first time, right? But not everyone knows that delivering an elevator pitch is actually requires some communication skills, right? Because a lot of times when you meet someone for the first time, they start introducing themselves and you like falling asleep. I'm really falling asleep because this person is talking about themselves for 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes. Like, this is not effective a way to introduce yourself, right? This is not good. So it's too long when you can't take so much time introducing yourself. It's too long. And another thing, a lot of times people don't understand the difference between a personal elevator pitch and an introduction, right? They start introducing themselves when they actually have to pitch themselves. And the main difference between the elevator pitch and introduction is the structure. And here is a structure for you, by the way, write it down. Here is a structure for your presentation, for your self-presentation, next time you meet someone for the first time, right? So first, you only actually need 4 sentences. And 4 sentences is definitely not too long, right? It's going to be like 20 seconds or 30 seconds, and it's perfect. This is exactly how much time you need to introducing yourself, not to bore the other person, but you have to be strategic. Here is your strategy. In your first sentence, you have to say who you are. In your second sentence, you have to explain what you do. In your third sentence, you need to add an attention-grabbing hook. An attention-grabbing hook, and this is something that is going to grab the other person's attention. And hopefully, if your attention-grabbing hook is great, they want to know more about you, your project, or your services, or whatever you're talking about. And finally, one of the most important sentences in this sequence is a call to action. You need to add a call to action at the end of your personal elevator pitch to give the other person a signal what they need to do now. Do you want to see how this works? Actually, I have prepared my a personal elevator page. So let's see if you are going to get interested in this. Hi, my name is Anna, and I specialize in coaching people on power skills. Now, this is who I am and what I do. My clients typically see a 20% increase in their salary after they start working with me. If you're looking to build a successful career in tech, I'd love to help. Now, hopefully that was my great hook. Are you on LinkedIn? Let's connect. And this is my call to action, right? By the way, guys, are you on LinkedIn? Let's connect, because I'm on LinkedIn. There you go. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Right. So that's what it is, right? So technically, this is what, 4 sentences, and you're good to go. Now it's your turn. How about you create an elevator pitch? So feel free to practice, by the way, now in the chat. I'm going to give it like 1 minute for you to write up your personal elevator pitch with 4 sentences. So tell us who you are. Tell us what you do. Tell us, share your attention-grabbing hook. Attention-grabbing hook, it's something that, you're going to say something about that you do that is going to help people, or that people really want to hear, maybe some interesting statistics, or some interesting case study, or something from your experience. So share that, and don't forget about call to action. You want to connect on LinkedIn? Let's connect on LinkedIn. You want to exchange business cards? Do you have a card? You want to send them an email, to a follow-up email with the proposal? What is your email? I would like to send you my proposal. So please share your elevator pitch in the comments, just for the practice sake. Let's do it. Let's do it. In the meantime, I'm going to take some time to see if there are any interesting questions that I can answer right now, or keep them till the end. Okay. All right. Yeah, feel free to share. In the meantime, feel free to practice right now, or take the time after you watch this webinar and practice as well. In the meantime, I would like to move on to the next power skill that I want to talk about today, is coachability and feedback. But I see a very good question here. So the question is, could you sequence all these skills from the most important to the less important? Now, this is a very interesting question. Thank you for asking it. I don't think it's possible to share these, to sequence the skills from most important to less important, because it really depends on the person. For example, some people, they need to work on certain skills more than the others, right? So for example, if for me, public speaking is a skill that I'm pretty comfortable with at this point, right? For you, it may be something that you really, really need to double down on, because this is important for your career at present moment, right? So I don't really think it's you can really sequence them. They are all equally important. For example, for me now, when you look at the slide, the skill coachability is, for me personally, I feel like if I were to tell you what everyone needs to work on, it's coachability. Do you know what coachability is? By the way, coachability, in other words, it's learnability. It's your ability to learn. And another power skill, or maybe power characteristic, I would say, that everyone has to acquire, it's curiosity. It's being curious. So I believe that curiosity is something that helps people a lot whenever they need to learn something. And I feel that being not curious about things, this is something that stops people from becoming better selves, and from getting better things in life, right? So for example, if you practice curiosity all the time and daily, you never have a problem with the coachability, with learnability. You are a lifelong learner. So I would like to remind everyone that we have to remember about, well, I don't know if we remember about the time when we were a child, but just like think about children, right? Children, they don't need to practice curiosity, because they are curious by nature, right? But then when we grow up, we forget about this skill, so to say, right? We forget about the skill, and then we're like, oh, was there is something new, I don't care. There is like something came out, I don't care. This is actually a fixed mindset, right? So we have growth mindset. This is when we're able to grow and become successful. And then we have fixed mindset. This is a mindset where we are not progressing, we're not growing, we're not developing. So when we're not practicing curiosity on the daily basis, we actually have, it means that we have fixed mindset. That is why please remember to practice curiosity every day. Whenever you come across some new piece of information, research it, right? Dive into it. This is really important. And this is a key skill for your coachability, for being coachable, right? So coachability, this is your ability to learn new things. But I feel like the most difficult, the most challenging thing for people nowadays is the fact to embrace. I mean, it's difficult for them to embrace the fact that even though they are adults, they still have to learn, right? So if you embrace the fact that you are a lifelong learner, you practice curiosity daily, that's it. It means that you're coachable. It means that every employer would want to work with you. The other couple of weeks I've been talking about power skills with a lot of people here in Miami, a lot of people who are in workforce development, a lot of people who are top executives in human resource, and all of them talk about coachability, because they told me, like, Anna, we want to hire people who are coachable, because no matter how much experience you have, no matter how many years of background you have, work background you have, we still want people to be able to learn, because new things come out in tech all the time. And if you are not open to learning, if you're not coachable, it's going to be really difficult to work with you. So trust me, like here in the United States, this is the skill that people value a lot. And another thing is, of course, feedback, right? Feedback is something that I put them together. For me, they go hand in hand, because feedback also helps you to be coachable, right? Also helps you to practice coachability, because the feedback helps you to learn. When we ask for feedback, this is when we can learn, actually, right? So for example, if you do a task, and then you can come to your manager or your colleague and you can ask them for their feedback on your performance, you will hear really valuable insights, really valuable advice, and you'll be able to act on this feedback and you'll be able to improve. So feedback is really important. And let me show you let me show you how to ask and how not to ask for feedback. Now, here, this example, this is how not to ask for feedback, right? Give me feedback on what needs to be changed or improved. Kind regards, right? Or something like that. Or just like sentence, give me feedback on what needs to be improved. That's all. Well, this is not a good way to ask for feedback, because if you ask for feedback in this way, it's not going to help you grow. It's not going to help you improve here. So here is how you should actually ask for feedback. First of all, when you say, give me feedback on what needs to be improved, this sounds very impolite. This sounds direct, right? You won't get any actionable feedback saying that. Instead, you can say a very common phrase that I'm pretty sure everyone knows. I would love to hear your feedback on what needs to be improved. This is a common phrase. This is a very common phrase. At least you can use this. However, you can use even a better phrase. You can say something like, could you tell me 2 things you liked about, I don't know, my project, and 2 things that could be improved? What do you think about this one? I feel that it's a good one, right? So here you're technically giving a person a permission. You're giving a permission to criticize you, right? And depending on the culture, we will talk about cultural differences. But for example, in American culture, people really have hard time criticizing, right? So technically, you have to find the way to ask for constructive feedback so that the other person wants to give it to you. Because in American culture, people are very I mean, they don't like to tell you necessarily about like your mistakes or what they don't like, because they just don't want to make you feel bad about it, right? So they don't want to upset you. They just like try to be nice. So this is like a cultural difference here. For example, in Ukraine, where I'm from, there is no problem. If you want negative feedback, I'll give you negative feedback, and you're not gonna cry about this, right? So that is why this way you are inviting negative feedback, I mean constructive negative feedback, and you're giving permission to you're giving the person the permission to tell you some constructive things. And another way to ask for feedback, again, you can say, what would you personally improve about this? When you say, what would you personally improve about this, you put that person in your shoes. And again, this makes them think, more about this situation, or this, I don't know, this task, and share with you some thoughtful and deep feedback. And also remember, when you are asking for feedback, make sure you use open-ended questions, right? So make sure you say something like, what would you do? Not is it good or is it bad, and things like that. Right. So these are the key things about coachability and feedback. Now, moving on to emotional intelligence. By the way, when you ask me what is the most important, skill, emotional intelligence is really important. Do you know what emotional intelligence is? Anyone? Emotional intelligence. Are there any emotionally intelligent professionals? Well, emotional intelligence, this is your ability to understand your emotions and to understand other people's emotions, and properly react to these emotions, right? So this is what emotional intelligence is. And we all know about IQ, right? So I feel like back in the day, people worried more about IQ, but now you also have to worry about your EQ, right? So your emotional intelligence. Actually, there is also a term as cultural intelligence. We will talk about cultural intelligence in a minute. So being culturally intelligent, right? So emotional intelligence. Let's talk a little bit more about this skill. And right. So when we talk about emotional intelligence, we talk about being self-aware, like I said, being aware of your emotions and being able to control your emotions, right? And this will help you identify areas for your growth. And also when we think about emotional intelligence, it's about empathy, right? Empathy, it's about other people, right? It's about your ability to identify the emotions of other people, and this is your ability to relate, right? To understand the emotions of other people and act accordingly, right? So when we talk about emotional intelligence, just imagine, like, again, in the work context, right? If you work with someone who is emotionally not unintelligent, right? This is what can happen, actually. So for example, you may get upset, and instead of just being self-aware of why you're upset, what is happening, you just start calling your boss or your manager, or send them an email talking about how shitty work is or what they did wrong and things like that, especially after you had a glass of wine, and now you're all brave, and things like, let me get a glass of wine too. Just kidding, this is just water. Right. So if you are emotionally unintelligent, this is what can happen, But an emotionally intelligent person will be self-aware of the situation, of course, We understand that, like, we human beings, we are emotional, but what do we do with these emotions, right? And if you're emotional intelligence and you work with me, for example, you work on my team, I know 100% that even if something happens, we will be able to sort it out. We will be able to sort it out because we are emotionally intelligent. I know that you're not gonna have a glass of wine and do like some crazy things, with clients or with other teammates. So this is very important here. And let me share an example here of how to be more emotionally intelligent. So in one, there are many things that you need to do in order to be emotionally intelligent, right? But there's one thing that I completely I specifically and I specifically want to highlight. It's practicing active listening, right? Because a lot of times when you're having a conversation with someone, well, they're not listening to you at all, right? And this is a problem. This is a problem. So I want you to be aware of your active listening skills, right? You have to fully concentrate on what the others are saying, and you have to provide feedback. Of course, I'm not talking about interrupting people when they're saying, but you need to provide feedback. So instead of, let's say you were talking with someone, you didn't pay attention, and you can say something like, can you explain that idea again? Sorry, I wasn't listening. This is not good. This is not what emotionally intelligent person would say. But saying something like, that's a cool idea, how do you see it working for your project? Like asking follow-up questions, asking to explain more. But this shows that you have been listening. I will tell you, actually, my personal example. I have a really good friend who works in tech. He has a senior role in tech sales, and every time we talk, like I can observe, I can feel this active listen, how he's using active listening skills. Because every time we have a conversation, if I share something, he's always like following up with like, oh, like tell me more, or like, based on what I said, like there's always something like, how are you going to do this? So what did you think of this? And things like that. And when I started noticing that, I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool, because it makes me feel great. We're having a conversation and the person is so involved listening to what I'm saying, and not only listening to me, but like asking me follow-up questions. It makes me feel special. And imagine if you do this with your clients, right? If you learn to use this active listening skill with your clients will love you. Obviously, my friend works in tech sales, so he works with really big tech clients. So obviously, like that's his primary thing to develop. By the way, back to your question, what is the most important skill to develop? Again, this is depends on your job. For example, for someone who works in sales or with clients directly, active listening, emotional intelligence, this is something that you need to focus on most of all. And again, speaking about the important skill for someone who works on the international arena, what do you think it is? For someone who works on an international arena, it's really important to practice cultural affinity and understand what cultural affinity is, right? So, cultural affinity, this is your ability to communicate, to work across cultures. Now, tell me, do you work with international clients or colleagues? Well, I'm pretty sure everyone does, right? It's like, earlier today, I was part of the meeting where we said that like every company is a tech company now, right? Every company is a tech company. That the same thing, like everyone works with international either clients or teams, because most tech companies outsource. It means international workforce, right? So do you work with international workforce? Do you work with international teams or clients? If you do, then the next slide is something that you want to screenshot, something that is super important here. And that's it. If you work with different cultures, you need to know that different culture, there are two types of cultures: low context and high context cultures. And it means, and like this division affects the style of communication. So, for example, if you work with someone from a low context culture, you have to know that the way you communicate should be very simple, clear, and precise, right? So you need, if you want to say something to a person from a low context culture, by the way, for low context culture is United States, right? If you want to say something to someone from the United States, you need to express yourself very clearly, very directly. You have to tell exactly what you want and what needs to be done, right? Also, you have to be aware that sometimes you need to repeat things for clarification, just to make sure people understand what's happening, right? So this is very common for low context cultures, right? So repetition, clarification, and things like that. Now, if you work with someone from a low context culture, let's say someone from Asian countries, because most Asian countries are low context, right? So you have to be aware that their communication style is sophisticated, it is nuanced, it is layered, right? So messages are not delivered at face value. Messages are delivered. They deliver messages in the way that you kind of have to read between the lines. So that's very interesting and important here. And also, sometimes when they say something, they don't say it. You have to, well, like if you're from a low context culture, you have to guess. Do they want it or do they not want it, right? So this is very interesting and important to remember when you communicate across cultures. Now, looking at this picture here, right? Looking at this illustration, do you work with cultures? Do you work with low context or high context cultures? And if you cannot see your country in this illustration, you can probably guess, right? So, what is your style of communication? Are you like more like Americans, like direct, always like sharing things openly a lot, speaking a lot, asking for follow-up questions, clarifying things? Are you like, is your culture like this, or is it more nuanced? But I can tell you that usually countries with very long history, and countries where there's like one nation, right? There aren't many immigrants. I mean, now there are immigrants everywhere, obviously, but like if we look at the long history, like Japan, for example, right? The very it's like a monoculture. So these, or like India, like very really long history, right? So that's why countries with really long history, where like one nation has been living for a long time, they're usually high context culture. And I like to compare when you just got married. Like imagine you just got married and you've been married for 1 year and you've been married for 25 years, right? Can you understand each other without words when you've been married for 1 year? I don't think so. Can you understand each other without words when you've been married for 25 years? Well, there is a chance, right? So the same here. Imagine that low context cultures, these are like being married for 1 year. So you need to be more articulative. You need to be, more direct. You need to communicate in a simple way. And if you've been married for like 25 years, then your partner can probably read between the lines, or even when you didn't say anything, they can understand that, I don't know, there is something wrong, or you're happy, you're unhappy, and things like that. So this is very interesting. I highly recommend that you dive into it, and I will have a book recommendation in a minute for you. But let's talk a little bit more about the being being culturally aware, having cultural intelligence. For example, the culture of small talk, right? Some countries, they do practice making small talk a lot. Other countries, they get down to business right away, right? So for example, I can say that in Ukraine, we I mean, we can make small talk, but it's not so like, it's not, we're not crazy about small talk. In the United States, it's a norm, right? Making small talk. In the United States, you don't usually start a meeting without making small talk first, right? In Latin American countries, the same thing. You know, you don't get down to business right away, right? You have to make this informal chit chat at the very beginning. Otherwise, people are not going to connect with you. People are going to be disengaged. They're not going to understand what's happening here. So here, another thing, like you have to learn like certain cultural norms in different countries, in different cultures, to be able to communicate effectively across these cultures, right? So, right. So small talk shouldn't be underestimated. And this is what this tweet is telling us, actually. But then again, you have to know how different cultures operate and how different cultures work. And this is what I am particularly keen on this topic. And this is what I'm launching a new course on power skills. And originally, I wanted just to add like 2 videos about cross-cultural differences like this, well, what we have just discussed with you. But then I decided to add 4 more videos where I talk about peculiarities of cross-cultural communication in certain countries, in Arab world, in Asia, in Latin America, in 5 English-speaking countries, because there are 5 English-speaking countries, right? The United States, Canada, Australia, South Africa, and Great Britain. They all speak English, but there are cultural differences that may prevent people from understanding each other. So I have a wonderful video on that. So this will be part of the course. Now, actually, let me share with you some cultural peculiarities of doing business in the United States. Probably you know some of this if you are from the United States or you work with the United States. But if you want to do business in the United States, if you want, like when I say do business, it doesn't mean like you come to the United States and you start selling something. I mean like you work with Americans. You have to remember that punctuality is key. Punctuality is highly emphasized. You have to make appointments. If you want to schedule a meeting, you have to make an appointment in advance. People don't usually schedule meetings on the same day. It can be the same week, or usually next week. Yeah. So like you have to be careful about scheduling. Business is done in a lightning speed. You have to move really fast. Competition is a rule of life. Everyone is super competitive in the United States. So you don't take long to make decisions. Like, for example, in some countries, you can do it. In some cultures, in Latin American culture, it's a little bit slower with how business is done compared to the United States. It doesn't mean it's good or bad. It's just different. And if you want to be successful at what you do, you have to be aware of all these peculiarities, and you have to take them into account whenever you work with different cultures. Another thing, like we just said, in America, small talk, use small talk always to begin a meeting. Compliments are exchanged very often. You give compliments to people that you don't know in the street. You give compliments that you see in the store. You give compliments all the time. Just be careful when you give compliments in the workplace, and make sure they are not sexually harassing anyone. Also in the United States, you are what you do. So your job, your title is here important here. And still, the United States is the world of business cards. Even though in tech, if you go to like 100% tech event, people are exchanging their virtual cards or just like adding each other on LinkedIn. But still, there are business cards. It's a business cards world. And like I said, my sincere recommendation, the book, The Culture Map, for anyone who wants to understand cross-cultural communication better. And let's move on to leadership and teamwork. Now, the question is, every time you see the word leadership, let's say you're not a manager, let's say you're not a business owner, let's say you don't have a managerial position. Is leadership a skill that you need to worry about? Is leadership a skill that you really want to worry about or you really need to worry about? Tell me. Well, answer yourself. I can tell you that you don't have to be a leader. I mean, you don't have to be a manager. Sorry. You don't have to be a manager to be a leader. In order to be an excellent team player, you need to practice leadership skills, because leadership is not only about managing others, right? It's not only about managing and leading others. Leadership first, the primary most important thing in leadership is being able to be your own leader, like a leader for yourself, right? So technically, that's you don't have to be a manager to be a leader. You can have any position. You can have pretty much any job even, but you still have to practice leadership skills, because leadership skills will make you a great team player. And when we talk about leadership, self-leadership first, right? Self-leadership, self-awareness, again, awareness of your emotions, right? Self-regulations, being able to control yourself, your actions, your thoughts, your emotions, again, right? Self-motivation, right? For example, you came here, hopefully you get a portion of motivation. I love this, it's great, but how can you maintain this portion of motivation for longer, right? So you get motivated by others, but then what do you do to keep yourself motivated with this motivation that you receive from others? So leadership is important, and here's what you can do to practice self-leadership. First of all, own your tasks. Own your tasks. It means that be responsible. By the way, one of the key things for leadership is responsibility, right? So this is your power skill. Being responsible for yourself, for your tasks, for your project, for your team, for anything that you have to deal with, right? So own your tasks, be responsible for what you have to do and for yourself. Next, like I said earlier today, commit to lifelong learning, right? Just embrace the fact that you have to learn all your life. There is never going to be a moment in life when you can, well, I mean, if you want to say that I know everything, it means that you know nothing. Well, not nothing. It means that you are actually on the wrong track. Because when people say, I know everything, I don't need to improve, it means that they are on the wrong track. They are not on the track. They are not on the way to growth mindset. They're not practicing growth mindset. They are developing fixed mindset. And resilience, of course. Develop resilience whenever you have to overcome challenges and tough situations, right? Resilience, your adaptability, to change. This is very important, and this is leadership, by the way, right? So do you really need leadership if you're not a manager? Yes, you need to be a leader in your own life, first of all, right? And this is important. Okay, now finally, one of the most important things for today: how do you practice power skills? How do you practice power skills? Any ideas? Any ideas? How do we practice power skills? Well, while you are thinking about this, I want to share with you interesting statistics. 85% of career success comes from soft skills, by the way. Because I have talked to several executives and I did ask them all the same question, as well as executives and HR and recruiters. I asked them the same questions. You have two professionals that you're hiring, like two software engineers. One is a senior software engineer, but poor soft skills. And the other one is middle level, or I don't know, middle level engineer, but strong soft skills. Who are you going to hire? And you can probably guess the answer. Everyone said that they would hire someone with middle skills, but high soft skills, because soft skills are actually soft skills, it takes longer to develop soft skills. So the sooner you start developing your soft skills, the sooner you start practicing your power skills, the better it is, because learning a hard skill is faster than learning a soft skill, because there are so many soft skills, right? And because you have to interact with people, that's the hard thing, because there are so many different people around us, so you have to be able to understand all of them. That is why it's really important to start sooner than later. And the question is, do you want to be that professional that everyone wants to work with? Now, here's the thing, right? When we are looking to build a career of our dreams, a successful career, it's about, other people wanting to work with us. The more people want to work with us, the faster we can become successful, because I can choose. If everyone wants to work with me, I can choose who I want to work with, and I can choose the best option for me, right? I don't have to wait, right? I don't have to go through jobs that are not so interesting for me, but they don't want me. So the more people want to work with you, the better off you are. So if you want to be that professional, do you need a crash course? And when I say a crash course, I mean you don't have a lot of time, right? So do you need a crash course that will be a foundation that will help you to kickstart your successful career with the high level of soft skills? Well, hopefully you do need that crash course. And I would like to welcome you my new course, Power Skills for Tech, which is Crash. It's called Crash, right? Because it's 6 weeks. We practice 6 core soft skills. And the way it works is that you get short video lessons with me. And when I say short, I mean I use in my teaching, I use bite-sized learning technique. Bite-sized means that you receive a short piece of information so that, and you can practice every day. So here's the same. I recorded short video lessons for you on practicing top power skills. And at the same time with this video lessons, you like I said, every day you can spend maybe 20 minutes a day, learn a new skill and practice, most importantly, right? So the key thing with power skills, soft skills, is that you can, get the information. Like in this webinar, you got this information, and then you just yeah, the webinar is over and you started doing whatever you had to do, but you need to practice. That's why in the course you watch the information in the video, and then you can practice, right? You get the practice, and you get personalized feedback from, like, coaching tips and personalized feedback from the course mentor and myself, right? So that's the key. You can watch YouTube videos, of course, but you need to practice. You need to practice these skills, the information. You need to put it in practice, the information that you have learned from the video. And another exciting thing in this course is a certificate, a blockchain verified certificate that you can share on LinkedIn with your potential employers or your colleagues, your associates. Now let me tell you a little bit more about this course, and of course I have a special offer for you on this course. So you are probably here because you need this course because you haven't achieved what you wanted to achieve. Let's say you have been denied promotions, or you didn't get the job that you want, or you didn't get the salary that you want. That's why you're here. That's why you need to improve your power skills. Also, if you are tired of misunderstanding at work, right? People don't understand what you want. People don't understand what you need. That's why you need the Power Skills course. You need the course because you want to feel more confident when you communicate across cultures. Like I said, you're going to have 6 lessons on cross-cultural communication, and you'll be able to learn how different cultures communicate. And I'm pretty sure you'll be able to learn about the cultures that you need specifically. And of course, you are here, you need the course because let's say you are a newcomer in tech and you just, feel not synchronized with the whole team, right? Or you just started a new job, you just joined a new team and you don't feel synchronized enough. This is when you need to upgrade your power skills to be a better communicator and to make sure your new team understands you and your clients understand you. Now, the course is unique because, first of all, like I said, watching YouTube videos or like watching videos on power skills and having no practice is not going to do anything to it, for you. So in the course, you get hands-on practice, right? In addition to pre-recorded videos, you'll get practice tasks for each topic. You get online coaching, which means you have a mentor who will share feedback with you on your tasks, and you will be able to discuss this feedback with a mentor. And tailored, custom tailored course. It means that it is this course I created with the team based on the trending, based on trends, based on tech trends. Technically, this is not the information that was like that has been around the block. These are the skills that modern professionals need, right? This is not the information that is taken from resources, from some sources from a long time ago. This is all based on immediate need and immediate access here. We need immediate access to it. So after the course, you will be a more effective communicator. You can see here the picture of the platform where you can take the course. Very convenient. It's very sleek, very simple design. You don't have like to worry about anything doing the online course here. And so you will become a more effective communicator. You will be able to avoid cultural mistakes. You will be able to build rapport with everyone at work, right? You'll be able to give and ask for feedback properly. And of course, you will increase the level of your emotional intelligence. And all of these things will definitely help you build a successful career. Now, what are the topics? What are the topics? Well, again, let me remove myself here. You will have 6 modules, right? 6 weeks, 6 modules. We're going to practice 6 important skills that we discussed today: good communication, coachability, feedback, emotional intelligence, empathy, cultural affinity, leadership and teamwork, and bonus, job interview preparation, CV and cover letter. But another thing that I have not shared here on the screen, but actually I have shared it on the screen. Look at module 2, topic 3 in module 2. AI prompting is the power skill of the future. How to ace at AI prompting, practical tips and activities. I added several lessons on how we can use AI, how to improve our AI skills in order to become better at what we do at work daily. So I created lessons for you based on what I have learned, and I have been using AI quite a lot now. So I'm going to teach you how to become better at AI prompting so that you can again stand out from the crowd. Because you know what, I did this survey asking how many, like in my community, I did a survey asking how many people are using ChatGPT on the daily basis or AI on the daily basis. And you know what? It was like less than 40%, which is not great, because using AI now should be as using Google, right? As Googling. So you will be able, in this course, you will be also able to practice your AI prompting skills. Again, there's going to be all workshop type of lessons. And another thing that I didn't mention here, in module 5 on leadership and teamwork, it's not going to be just me as an instructor. I have invited 2 executives to talk about leadership and to talk about teamwork. So you're going to have 2 executives from Miami with tons of experience in leadership and in team development, who are going to be sharing what you need to do and how you can do this in order to become a better leader and in order to become a better team player. So I'm very excited about this as well. certificate, you will receive a blockchain verified certificate. This is what we have. We have our own platform where we issue blockchain verified certificates. It means that it is very cutting edge. You can share it on LinkedIn. You can add it to LinkedIn to show your progress. And one more thing, just a reminder, we are a community. When you join the course, you also get other perks. You become part of the community where you can network, where you can learn more, where you can attend free webinars like this one for our private community. So definitely you get more when you just get the course, even after the course. And finally, my special offer for you, you can get the Power Skills for Tech course today with 50% off. Use promo code POWER50 and use this link. Use this link to join the course. Let me just drop the link in the chat. Yep. Yeah. Hurry up, because we have limited spots left on the course, and you can choose the package. Let me tell you a little bit about the packages. So the junior package, this is absolutely self-paced, and this is no mentor feedback package. So you get the junior package, you watch the videos, you do the tasks, but there is no mentor feedback and there is no certificate, right? But you can still join our community, our private community on Telegram for questions and networking. And you can still get access to the course for 6 months. When you get a senior package, you get much more. For most important, you get mentor feedback, right? So when you do the task, you receive feedback on your task, how you did on the task, what you need to improve, etc. You also get a bonus live webinar with me at the beginning of the course. We will probably do this or in the middle. And you will also be able to get a certificate of completion, a blockchain verified certificate, when you successfully complete the course. And when you successfully complete the course, you will also get an opportunity for a one-on-one meeting with me, where we can talk about where I can personally answer your questions. You can ask me your questions. You can I don't know, seek some help. So we will have a one-on-one session. This is a special offer for everyone who successfully completes the course. So you can have like a one-on-one, maybe like coaching session, as whatever you want to call it. So pick whichever package works the best for you. Do you want to be independent, or do you want to have a mentor support and my support? So that's the difference, junior and senior. And join today. Join as soon as possible, because there is no time. Like, what are you waiting for? There is no time. Like I said, it takes longer for people to develop their soft skills on a high level compared to hard skills. That is why there is no time to wait. And most importantly, there is no time to wait, and it's time for you to make the best investment this year. The best investment is, of course, the investment in yourself, right? So this can be that best investment this year that you make, and definitely the best investment that you will monetize. Because remember that when you invest in something, it is important to think about the return on your investment, right? So when you invest in this course, the return on your investment can be as big as a new job, as big as a salary increase, as big as I don't know, career of your dreams down the road. That is why make smart investments. Invest in things that can bring you return on investment, right? Right. So you have the link here in the chat to this video. If you have any questions, let me know. Oh, by the way, if you have any questions, let me know. We have a few minutes left. I'm so happy with my timing. I feel like I'm becoming more and more professional here. Timing is perfect, because I know everyone's busy. I don't know what time of the day it is where you are. Maybe in the middle of the day, so you need to work, and maybe end of the day, so you're like tired already, like wrapping up your day. So are there any questions? Shoot your questions about power skills, about the course, anything. I'll be happy to address them. Yeah. And just so you, it's easy to remember the website, English for IT Online/power skills. Any questions, comments, or suggestions? Okay, no questions. This is perfect. It means that I did a great job explaining everything. Well, if you have any questions, okay, I have a question here. Great. But just so you know, remember, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in my community on Telegram. You can find me there all the time. So we have a question here. Is this course specifically for those who are new to learning the English language? This is a really good question. Thank you for asking it. No, this course is not English learning course. There's not going to be anything about learning English. This course is for anyone who speaks English, who can understand English. This course is about power skills. It's not about English language. So it's not about learning English. So if you're learning English, if you want to learn English, I can recommend other courses. Go to englishforit.online website, and you can find courses that will teach you English for tech. Power skills for tech, it's about power skills. It's just in English, but it's not teaching English. Okay, let's see other questions here. Okay, comment. I was like, questions and comments here. Anna, it's amazing how you're involved and inspired giving your sessions, brilliant body language and amazing gesticulation. Thank you, Alexander. Thank you, Alex. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in ages. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's another thing that people need to develop. It's another power skill for your public presentations, for your public speaking engagements. So this is something that people need to learn. And obviously a lot of this I acquired with practice. That's why I'm encouraging you to start practicing your power skills sooner than later. Thank you for your feedback. You didn't tell anything about how to work with different nationalities. How come? I did talk about how to work with Americans. I did talk about Latin Americans. I did talk about Ukrainians. I did talk about a few others, giving examples as we go. And of course, if you would love to learn, I did talk about Japanese. I did talk about, maybe you joined later and you skipped the cross-cultural communication section. But like I said, most importantly, when in the course, you will have a lot of different examples about specific countries. Another comment here. Great, interesting content that is deeply aligned with our practices and processes, and just vital stuff. You are really curious, a teacher who follows modern and in-demand trends. Thank you, Alex. Exactly. This is, you should, I lead by example. Let me put it this way. I lead by example. That's why all content that I create, everything that, when you sign up for any any of my courses or products, you buy any of my products, you can be sure it's all super modern and very up to date. Okay, thank you so much. Insightful webinar. Thank you for all the great tips. Thank you so much. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful and insightful, and hopefully I will see everyone in my course, Power Skills for Tech. Take it now. Take it sooner than later, and I hope everyone can be better communicators even after this webinar. Keep learning and follow for more tips. Bye for now.